Okay, thank you everybody, to those just joining us. Thank you all for attending this event today. So just to begin, my name is Janet. I'm a legal coordinator here at Barbary in the London office. And today we have two of our panelists. Would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Ali, go for it.
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Ali. I'm from Lebanon. I'm currently based in Lebanon, and I'm currently studying for the SQE 1 with Barbary.
Thanks, Ali. I'm Caroline. I work for Barbary with Janet on the team, talking to students about joining us on our prep courses.
Okay, thank you guys. So to start off, I'm going to go through a presentation on the SQE. So I'm just going to get my presentation up. Can you see my screen? Okay, great, thank you. So hello everybody, welcome to the presentation on the Barbary SQE preparation course. So firstly, what exactly is the SQE? So the SQE is a new system of qualifying as a solicitor in England and Wales, and it is a two-stage exam. It is a mixed subject multiple choice question and also a legal skills assessment exam, and it's available to anyone with a degree or equivalent. Then on to what this new path of qualification is. So the SQE is actually split into two stages. The SQE1 is the multiple choice question stage, and then the SQE2 is the legal skills assessment stage. So these two will need to be completed, and also you will need to show 2 years of qualifying work experience. Now, this qualifying work experience can be done anywhere in the world, and for any work experience done anywhere in the world, it will need to be signed off by a solicitor on the role of solicitors in England and Wales. And then you will also need to complete the character and suitability requirement. So those are the stages of the SQE. Now, just to go into a little bit more detail with the SQE1 exam, the SQE1 exam costs £1,558. It's a mixed subject multiple choice exam. So you will get 360 multiple choice questions, and this is done in 2 days. And it is also a computer-based exam. With the SQE1 exam, this will be available to take across a wide geographic area at Pearson VUE test centres for the SQE1 exam, so the 2-day exam could be done anywhere in the Pearson VUE test centres for the SQE1. And then moving on to the actual subjects that are tested in the SQE1, there are quite a few subjects tested. So just give you a bit of time if you'd just like to see what sort of subjects are tested. For anybody here who may have studied in England and Wales, studied law, that you probably would see a bit of the subjects that you have done before. So for instance, tort or contract, land law, but there are quite a few other topics that a lot of you may have never seen, but we will prepare you for each subject in the SQE1 exam. And then moving on to the SQE2 exam. This is the legal skills assessment stage. This is the second stage. So once you pass the SQE1, then you'll be able to move on to the SQE2 stage of the exam. And this just covers client interviewing, advocacy, case analysis, legal research, writing, and drafting. So just looking now at the Barbary SQE prep and the benefits of taking the SQE prep course with Barbary. Firstly, the flexibility. So This will enable you to study anywhere in the world, so it's absolutely perfect for international students. Wherever you are in the world, you can definitely study with BARBRI. It's an opportunity for you to earn whilst you learn, and it's also an opportunity to spread the process over time. So we have a range of courses for the SQE 1 exam, depending on which one you prefer, or how you would like to spread the process over time. And it's also gives considerable savings in comparison to the LPC route. So as some of you may already know, the LPC route costs around, could cost around £17,000 depending on where you're going to study it. But with the SQE prep course, you'll be looking at around £10,000, which would include the SQE prep course and the SQE prep exams. So it definitely is considerable savings in comparison to the LPC route. So how does BARBRI exactly prepare you for this? So firstly, every student will be given a personal study plan. So each student will receive their own personal study plan, and the personal study plan is powered by an engine called ISIC, which is an artificial intelligence engine, and it just helps to tailor the personal study plan to each student. So the personal study plan will contain all of your learning materials. It will contain your lectures, an electronic copy of your workbooks. It will contain your practice questions. It will contain links to workshops. It will contain an information center, and so much more. So on the course, each student is given a one-to-one personal mentor. And the great thing about your mentor is that they're specifically assigned to you. So you have this one-to-one personal access to your mentor, and it's also unlimited access. So not only will your mentor check in with you at least every 2 weeks, you also have access to them where you can either schedule calls with them, or you can email them if you need support, if you just need assistance, if you just want to have a conversation about the SQE, you have that personal support there with your mentor. And another great thing is that our mentors are very flexible. So wherever you are in the world, you will always have a chance to speak to your mentor. In addition to this, we also have a faculty of experienced law practitioners and lecturers. So each lecturer will have extensive teaching experience. So you're definitely in safe hands. We have multiple choice exam expertise, which I will touch on a bit later. And we also provide bespoke hard copy and digital books. So on the course, you will get an electronic copy version, but also the hard copy version of your books. So if you prefer the electronic copy version, you will have a chance to make notes on the book, highlight the book online. You can make notes on the side. So you can absolutely decorate the book however you like, with your notes, your highlights. So you can do that online, or you can do that with a hard copy version. And then we also have touchpoint workshops. So with these workshops, they're scheduled to take place at least, as you go on the course, you will have a couple workshops. So we have around 6 workshops in total, and these workshops will cover how to access your way through the course, how to approach a multiple choice question, how to approach a mock exam, for instance. So you have these workshops. The workshops are live, and they will also be recorded for anybody who may not be able to attend. And another thing about the workshops is that we would always have one happening in the morning and in the evening. So wherever you are, whatever time zone you're in, we will definitely be able to accommodate to that, because we have it in the mornings and the evenings, and on top of that, it's also recorded. So you can always access it after. Now, moving on to pass rates. So we don't have the pass rates for the SQE because it is a new exam, but I'm just going to talk a little bit about our pass rates for our other courses. So we also prepare for the US bar exams, and we have been preparing for the QLTS route, which is a qualified lawyers transfer scheme route. So it's going to show the pass rates. So firstly, you'll be pleased to note that we have very strong pass rates. So going on to that QLTS route, some of you may not know what the QTS route is. So for those who don't know, the QTS route is the traditional route for foreign qualified lawyers to qualify in England and Wales. So if you're qualified in any other country, you can go onto the QTS route to qualify in England and Wales. So with this route, this traditional route, it's actually quite similar to the SQE. So the SQE will be replacing this QTS route. I mentioned it's quite similar. So with how the SQE is split into 2 stages, the SQE1 and SQE2 exam, and the QTS is also split into 2 stages, the MCT and the OSCE. With the MCT, it's a multiple choice question exam, and with the SQE1, it's also a multiple choice exam. So just looking at the pass rate now, under the QTS route, we have a 78% overall pass rate for the MCT. So just looking at the comparison with that, I think that just goes to show how strong our pass rates are and how well we prepare our students. So with seeing how similar it is with the QTS, I think that shows again that if you take the SQ with Barbary, you're definitely in safe hands with how strong our pass rates are. And then the OSCE stage under the QTS is a legal skills assessment stage, which is similar to the SQE2, which is also a legal skills assessment stage. So again, looking at the pass rate, in July 2019, our pass rate, so in November 2019, our pass rate was 78% for the OSCE. Again, it's similar to the SQE2 stage. So just showing how strong our pass rates have been for the QTS, I think it gives a better overview or understanding of how well we will prepare our students for the SQE with how similar it is. So then moving on to the extended US bar preparation course, our pass rate for that is 76% for those who sat the bar exam on their first attempt with Barbary. So with the US bar exams, it does have a bit of a similarities to the SQE. So the US bar exam has a stage where you will sit some multiple choice questions, and with the SQE, of course, we have the multiple choice question stage. So we just wanted to show you these pass rates just to show that we have very strong pass rates. We prepare our students well in these exams, and that you can also be assured that we will definitely do our best to prepare you well for the upcoming SQE exams too. And then onto the fees. So our fee for the SQE1 prep course is £2,999. And then for the SQE2, it will be £2,999 for anybody who sits the SQE1 with us. So as an SQE alumni, it will be £2,999 for the SQE2. So in total, as I mentioned before, you'll be looking at around £10,000 for both the SQE courses, prep courses, and for the exam in total, £10,000. So we also take installments too, for anybody who may be interested in that. We also have installment options. We have scholarships available. And if you have your phone right now, you can just pull out your camera and point your camera to the barcode, and that will take you to our website where you can find more information on the installment options, the scholarships available, any sample materials. So I'll just give you a few seconds in case you want to just pull up your phone quickly. Okay. And just to mention regarding the scholarships, we have a public sector scholarship, we have an essay scholarship, we have a first class scholarship as well. So once you're able to just have a quick look at our website, there are more details on that in case you will be interested. And then lastly, this is just some of our information. Our website, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, or Twitter. Okay, thank you.
That's brilliant. Thanks, Janet. Thank you. So Ali and I are now just going to have a little bit of a chat about life on the SQE and Ali's experiences and career to date. So Ali, thank you so much for joining us today. Just wanted to start off by sort of asking you to just take us through a little bit of your educational and work background leading up to starting the SQE.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here. And I hold a bachelor degree in business from St. Joseph's University of Beirut, Lebanon. And then I did my master's degree in management. So I graduated with a master's degree in 2016. After graduating, I had a job here in Lebanon with Saba IP, if you're familiar with Saba. They are a regional intellectual property firm. I joined them as a trademark watch coordinator. And then I moved to Dubai to join the international law firm Bird and Bird as their anti-counterfeiting paralegal, also within their IP practice. And now I'm back to Lebanon and studying for the SQE.
Yeah, brilliant, brilliant. At what point did you decide, sort of during your education, that you wanted to pursue a career in law? What prompted that?
Yeah, so you know, sometimes you get things that you didn't want in the first place, and afterwards it appears that you like the thing that you got. So that's what happened with me when I got the opportunity at Saba first in Lebanon. I wasn't quite sure if I wanted this opportunity, and I didn't really aim to enter the legal field, but it happened out of coincidence. I really liked the legal field when I joined them, and then when I joined Bird and Bird, it showed me really how how law firms operate and how lawyers deal with international clients. So that's what made me more interested in pursuing a legal career. So basically, my work at Bird and Bird and getting exposed to many legal matters has made me want to pursue this route.
Fantastic, fantastic. And as we'll come on to, you're not alone being a someone doing the SQE without any previous legal formal training. So that's great to hear that you come from that background. You sadly lost your job last year due to the pandemic. How did that impact and influence your career plans?
Yeah, so like you said, my employment was terminated back in June. So I'm almost 10 months unemployed. I had to come back to Lebanon. I think I take unemployment situation as a good thing. Sometimes it can happen to you for your own good. So I think what happened with me is the unemployment situation made me realize that I want to pursue my career in law even more, because I wanted to do something in the meantime, and because I already loved the legal field and loved my experience at a law firm. So actually, my unemployment situation encouraged me more to pursue this route.
Ah, brilliant, brilliant. And what sort of, obviously you could look to study and qualify as a lawyer anywhere in the world. What specifically drew you to England and Wales as a jurisdiction?
So having worked in a law firm which follows the English system and England and Wales, made me realize that this system is more flexible than what other jurisdictions offer. So for example, how courts deal with a case when they look at previous cases, how they touch upon previous cases when deciding for an actual case. So I think reading about the legal system of England and Wales made me realize that it's much more flexible than pursuing other legal systems such as the civil systems, and it's more close to what the community wants and what the people people want.
Yeah, brilliant, brilliant. And I suppose sort of why did you choose to go the SQE route as opposed to, you know, another route such as the GDL LPC route?
Actually, I wanted to pursue the GDL LPC route, and I was about to pursue it, and I registered at the university. I applied and I was accepted. Although I was pretty sure that I was gonna reach at that end, because securing a training contract is very difficult, as most of you already know.
Yeah.
So this is when I accidentally came across the SRA's website when they talked about the SQE, and they introduced the SQE and how flexible it is. So when I read about the SQE, I found that it's way more flexible than doing the traditional route of LPC, GDL, and training contract. And it's also cost effective, so it's less costly than what a GDL LPC would cost, like Janet just said in her presentation.
Yeah.
So mainly the flexibility that the SQE offers made me want to change my mind and pursue it instead.
Fantastic, fantastic. And obviously, you know, Barbary aren't the only SQE provider. What sort of drew you to the Barbary preparation course and the 40-week option?
Yeah, so when reading about the SQE before registering on the SRA website, there's also mention to Barbary as one of the training providers. The name just came to my mind, and I was very curious to know what is Barbary, who is Barbary, and this is when I went into your website and I read all about the new SQE and what you have to offer for the SQE. And when comparing it to other institutions and especially universities, I became aware that you offer a lot, and you have great flexibility, and also your costs are reasonable. So this is why I mainly chose Barbary, also for flexibility.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think it's definitely fair to say we offer the flexibility there. And when you were sort of joining the course and signing up and getting to know everything, how sort of did you find being obviously not based in the UK? Did you sort of have lots of questions and were able to find out the answers and things? Yeah, brilliant. And so when, you know, were you able to sort of easily get access?
So one of the flexibility that Barbary offers is being based anywhere in the world. So if you can easily have access to your PSP and your account anywhere in the world, as long as you have an internet connection, of course. Your books are delivered to you as well, so that's great. And you can always communicate with your mentor. So my mentor is Tracy Savage. She's great. I always communicate with her whenever I need something. She's very helpful. So the idea of being able to access the whole plan, the whole study plan, without having to be in the UK is very, very helpful. And it will allow you to do whatever you want anywhere in the world. And also the fact that all your lectures are recorded and you have the practice questions and even the workshops are recorded, that's also a huge plus.
Yeah, brilliant. That's what we try to achieve. So it's great to hear you find it flexible enough to meet your needs. And in terms of other students and things, have you had much interaction with other students studying on the course?
Yes, definitely. So thanks to you, to Barbary, you created the WhatsApp group for us to be able to communicate and get to know each other. I think this is very important. So I joined the WhatsApp group the minute I knew about it. We're currently reaching almost 200 participants in the WhatsApp group. And it's really great. We always communicate, and we were actually communicating just before the event. And I think some of them are actually in the event right now.
Brilliant.
So it's really great being part of this WhatsApp group because you can exchange ideas. For example, sometimes I say things that other members of the group are not aware of, or vice versa. So it's really helpful to exchange ideas.
Great, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. Almost like you're in the classroom together, but just in a WhatsApp group instead.
Correct. True.
Yeah, brilliant. And in terms of studying with Barbie, obviously that's in the main from home. How have you found that compared to your sort of previous university-based study? And, you know, have you found you're sort of keeping up with all of the lectures and the activities? Do you miss having to travel to a university?
I think it's definitely different when you want to compare universities with Barbary, because universities usually offer like standard traditional way of learning. So you have the books, you attend the lectures or the classroom, you do the exams, etc. With Barbary, the idea behind the PSP is, I think, technology and progress, because what you offer is very up to date and very from a technology point of view is great. And I think this is where the world is going nowadays. Everything is turning into a more technological side rather than physically attend and you know, having to be physically there. With Barbary, you can easily access a lecture as it is recorded. You can watch it whenever you want, and you have all your practice questions in hand also. And even from a mentor point of view, you can always chat with your mentor. So it's not a problem. But I think this method is way better than what universities have to offer in the traditional way.
Fantastic, fantastic. We mentioned there the PSP, the personal study plan that Janet also mentioned earlier. What have you found to be the most sort of useful features on that in terms of the way it's laid out and the lectures or the questions and the guidance on what to study? What have you found most useful?
I think all the PSP, like as a whole, the PSP as a whole is incredible. But for me, the most important feature is the practice questions, because no matter how much you study and whether you read thousands of books, you will need to practice the law, and you will need to read cases and practice for the exam. Because after all, the SQE 1 is about multiple choice questions. So you'll have a case and you have several options to choose from. And if you are not well prepared, it's going to be a bit difficult for you. And so the amount of questions that Barbary has to offer is incredible. I mean, we've been like, for now, I'm halfway through my studies and I've done numerous and countless questions and practice questions. So imagine when finishing the PSP, how many questions would I have done? So it's very important. I think this is the most important feature in the PSP.
Brilliant, brilliant. You're obviously very proficient in English as an international student, but sort of did you have concerns how studying the law of England and Wales and it being an English course before you started, and how have you found it whilst you've been studying?
I think it's important for someone to study the English law, or even to study anything that is in English, in the English language, for them to be a bit proficient in the language. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to understand what's going on. So yes, my English is good, and I was a bit worried, not because of the English side, but because of the legal terms. Because I'm a non-law grad, yes. So someone who has not studied law before will find it a bit weird when they hear about legal terms. But it's not a big deal, because you will learn through time, and also you have to rely on yourself sometimes. So whenever I don't understand a word, let's say, no matter how proficient someone is in the language, if you don't understand a certain word, just go and look it up or ask your mentor about it. But the books and the content in the books that Barbary has to offer is just simple English, and it's not complicated at all.
Great, great.
And even in the lectures, I think it's worth mentioning that you have all the animation that help you understand what the lecturer is talking about. This is very helpful as well.
Brilliant, brilliant. Have you used the ask a tutor function from within the PSP about any technical law elements of law or anything?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Have you used the feature within the PSP to email a question about a particular area of law you're trying to understand?
Not really, I haven't. I don't know if I'm if that's something like I should do. But I think this is also a good feature, because if there are parts in the books that you don't understand, you can just submit it via your PSP, and someone from Barbary will get back to you within like 2 days or so. But I haven't used it actually, because I think it's straightforward, and whenever I have a question, I just ask my mentor directly.
Fantastic, fantastic. I think there's flexibility to find the answers in lots of different ways. Have you found, I know Janet mentioned earlier about the different times that we run workshops and things. Have you found being in a slightly different time zone to the UK when it comes to sort of the times you want to study and accessibility and things?
I think that's also flexible, because first of all, the timings that you offer for the workshops are not strict, so you don't do them very early and you don't do them very late, but rather you do them sometime during the day. And sometimes I think you offer the workshops both at noon and at evening, so people will have the chance to join and at either times. Also, the workshops are recorded, so even if you can't attend a certain workshop or an event, you can watch them later, so it's not a big deal.
Fantastic, fantastic. And just coming on now to the end goal, obviously you're hoping to sit the SQE exam. When are you planning to sit that, and do you have an idea as to where yet?
As to the when, the SQE 1 will take place in 8 and 11 November, if I'm not mistaken, 2021. So that's when I'm planning to take the SQE 1. As for the where, unfortunately, we still don't have information about the international locations for the SQE 1 and for the written part of SQE 2. Mm-hmm. So it might be in Lebanon, it might be elsewhere. I have no idea, but we're hoping to receive such information as soon as possible, because also we need to register for the exam next July.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we're certainly, as Barbary, keeping an eye on the announcements from Kaplan and Pearson about the test centres and things, and we'll certainly let all the students know. But it's great you're aiming, as the course is intended, to sit in November. And just finally now, with a few minutes left before we move on to questions and things from everyone watching, what's your situation? Obviously, you've got your work experience with the two firms, Bird and Bird and SAB. So is that what you're using as your qualifying work experience or intending to use?
Yeah, so I'm intending to use both experiences to register my QWE with the SRA. The SRA communicated with us last week the most recent bulletin that confirms that we can now register our QWE gained. So I'm intending to use that, and I will be doing that very shortly, just to check if that everything will go okay. And the SRA will come back to us within 30 days to confirm that it has been registered.
Yeah, yeah. And obviously you're based overseas. So how have you gone about getting your QWE signed off, or how will you get it signed off?
So, as Janet mentioned, the 2 years required legal experience, the qualifying work experience it needs to be signed off by Solicitor of England and Wales, and it doesn't have to be someone in the firm or even in the same country where you are. So I'm planning to, yes, so a Solicitor of England and Wales will sign off my experience, and like I said, I will do that shortly.
Okay, brilliant, brilliant. And you know, you've obviously mentioned the process is starting on the uploading your QWE to the SRA website and those. Did you find logging on to that and everything straightforward? Was there any information you needed, sort of, that you didn't have to hand that you had to go find, or was it quite simple?
It's quite simple. It's very straightforward. You just have to create an account with the SRA. And when you create an account, you will go into the section specified for the QWE. And there you will find a document, a PDF, where you will need to download. And if it's several experience that you need to register, you will need to download as many copies as you need for each experience. And the document is very straightforward. It just mentions your name and the solicitor signing your experience off, their name, their SRA name, and the requirements that the SRA has set. And that's it. And you just upload the document and wait for the SRA to come back to you within 30 days.
Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. And just finally, obviously, once you've done all of that and you'll have met the eligibility criteria, what are your plans once you've completed the SQE?
Obviously, our main goal right now is to pass the SQE1 and then SQE2. So essentially, my plans would be, after qualifying, hopefully, to find a job in an international law firm. I think in the UK, I would love to relocate to the UK. Of course, it can be an in-house experience rather than private practice, but it depends on the opportunities that I get. But mainly, be a law firm.
Brilliant, brilliant. Well, hopefully, with our careers service that Hisnara Begum is leading, hopefully you can tap into that and find the right opportunity. But no, thank you so much for answering my questions there. I hope that everyone's found it useful. I think I can see we've got some questions that have come in to the Q&A and things that Janet will take us through, and we can have a further chat. But thanks ever so much, Ali. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hi again. Thank you so much for that, Ali and Caroline. That was great. So now we're going to move on to the questions. If anybody here has any questions, please feel free to put them in the question and answer box, and we will try our best to make sure we get through all your questions and answer your questions. So right now we have a question which says, hi, do you offer any support when applying for training contracts? So we don't necessarily assist with the application process for a training contract. So we don't help with the process of applying for the training contract, but we do have a career service which helps with anything to do with, you know, law career. So we definitely have that where you can find support there. So I hope that helped to answer your question. Sorry, I should have mentioned that will be answered live.
And we, just before Janet moves on to the next question, we run lots of workshops on interviewing techniques and
yeah,
things like that as well. So yeah.
Okay, thank you. So will Barbary help us with registering our QWE? So the SRA actually have provided some information and some support and help on that. So I can try to get the link out soon and then put it in the chat. But when it comes to registering for the QWE, there's quite a lot of information on the SRA's website, and they have a document on that that helps with that process. So if you just have a look there, you will find a lot of help on that.
Yeah, and if you study with Barbary, the mentors are always happy to see if there's any questions that you can't answer on the SRA website, but most of the information's there.
Thank you. So Maha asked, when will the SQE1 exam start, and when should we register? So the SQE1 exam will start on the 8th and the 11th of November. That would be the first set of exams for the SQE1. And when should you register? So there isn't much information on the dates of registering. So we're just waiting to see when the SRA will announce that. But for any of our students, we will definitely keep you updated and let you know as soon as we get more information on that.
And Maha also mentioned there about, do we have to register with Barbary or Kaplan? And you definitely register with Kaplan and the Pearson VUE centres. But Barbary will make you aware through the PSP of when all of that is available to do.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. Next question. Any scholarships for the SQE preparation? Yes, we do have scholarships for the SQE preparation course. So we have a public sector scholarship, we have a first class scholarship, and we also have an essay competition. Again, we have quite a lot of detail on that on our website, so please feel free to check out our website on that, which just has the requirements for each of the scholarship.
Brilliant. There's a question at the top there from Ziddy as well. I think we did cover this in the presentation. My employers are from the UK but not lawyers. In such a case, what are the options for showing qualified work experience? Well, as Ali said, the qualified work experience does need to be signed off by a Solicitor of England and Wales. However, they don't necessarily need to work in the same organisation as yourself. So you can certainly do your qualifying work experience, obviously, as the in-house counsel, but you will need to find an external Solicitor of England and Wales to sign that off for you. Hope that helps there. Janet, do you want to talk about the guarantee?
Yeah, sure. So for anyone who sits the SQE1 exam and does not pass, we offer a Barbary Guarantee, which means we'll put you onto the next course. So you have the access to the Barbary Guarantee there. You wouldn't have to worry about making payment again. So you have that Barbary Guarantee in an event that you don't pass the exam.
That helps. Oh, yep. So,
Okay.
yeah. Do you want to take that one, Janet, about the mock exams?
Yes. So I think it's how many mock exams in the current, I think that's meant to say the PSP. Yeah. And does I'm not sure what that last part.
And are these exams approved by the SRA?
Are the
So,
mock exams?
yeah. So the mock exams aren't necessarily approved by the SRA, but we are very, we're confident with our experience that they are of exactly the same standard as what the SRA will be doing. But there's no requirement of the SRA to approve any mock examinations, but they're certainly at the same level. And Janet, are there 2 mock exams in SQE1, full exams?
So yeah, there are I'm on the 40-week course right now, so I should have mentioned earlier that I'm actually studying on the SQE1 as well. And I think there are around 4 mini mock exams. And then you also have a full mock exam, which is designed to be a replica of the real exam. So you will have around 4 mini mock exams throughout your preparation course. And then what are the main differences between the SQE and the QTS materials? So the materials have somewhat of a few similarities, because the SQE exam and the QTS exam are also quite similar too. So with the QTS and the SQE1, the main differences is I guess the number of lectures that you might be required to watch, for instance, because for the QTS stage, for the QTS first stage, which is a MCT stage, that has about 180 multiple choice questions, and then for the SQE1 stage, that has 360 multiple choice questions. So that in itself just means the lectures that we will require to watch wouldn't be as the SQE will have more lectures that you'll be required to watch than the QTS. So you will, for a difference is that you will possibly be required to do more reading or more lecture watching, for instance. But apart from that, they're quite similar. So for the QTS MCT stage, you get 2 books. For the SQE1, you get 2 books. So yeah, it's quite similar. I hope that helps answering your question. Okay. Another question here. Does the first class honours SQE scholarship apply to master's degree? I think this actually just only applies to, sorry Caroline, correct me if I'm wrong, just a law graduate. Caroline is.
Well, no, I don't believe it has to be a law grad. I think it applies to the undergraduate degree. I have to confess, I haven't actually been asked that question before. So I think we might need to take that one and reply later once we've checked that out with the team. It's a very good question, but I think it may only apply to the undergraduate degree. But let us check on that. You're anonymous, so perhaps if you could email that in to us, or we will put it in the chat, and any follow-up email correspondence as well. We will put that in, the answer to that, once we find that out. Definitely. We've got some questions in the chat as well, Janet. Let's just have a quick jump over to there. Okay. I think we've covered off about the scholarships element. When can we submit the QWE? Is there any time limit? So it's live at the moment. Janet, do you want to expand on the time period around QWE?
Yeah, so as Caroline mentioned, it's live. So if you already have previous QW experiences, you can start with that, with submitting that to the SRA. So you can definitely start with that. Again, there is quite a lot of information on registering your QWE on the SRA's website and the process of that. So yes, you can start with putting that together to submit. And yeah, for more information, I would just suggest checking the SRA's website, because they provide like a document on that to help put all the competencies together. So I hope that answered your question. Next question, can we enroll to the courses from now? If yes, can you send us the link, please? So you can enroll into our courses from now, but it does depend on what course you're interested in. We have a 20-week course, a 40-week course, and a 10-week course. So maybe if you let us know what course you're interested in, we can expand on that a little bit, and the enrollment start date and deadline, and we can also pop a link in the chat for you.
Yeah, we'll pop a link in the chat as well. That's fab. Brilliant. Are there any other? I think we managed to cover off all those questions. Great questions. Thank you ever so much, everyone. Ali, is there anything you think we've missed in the conversation today that you think is really important for potential kind of international students to be aware of about Barbary or the SQE process? What would be your golden tip, your golden nugget of information?
I think we've covered all the essential elements of Barbary SQE and the SQE itself. Obviously, if potential students want to learn more about the SQE or about Barbary, they should go to the SRA website and to your website and read more about it, because it's very detailed and it's very important to read it. But as a person who is already studying for the SQE with Barbary, I do encourage potential students to enroll for the SQE with Barbary because of the flexibility they offer and the amazing PSP that we have.
Brilliant, brilliant. Thank you.
So can I just quickly just go back onto the first class scholarship requirement. So the first class, for the first class scholarship, it is only available to students who have achieved a first class honours in their undergraduate degree. So it will only work in the case of an undergraduate degree. I hope that helped answering the question.
And that undergraduate can be law or another subject area. Yeah. Brilliant. Great. Anyone got any quick last minute questions they want to fire at us or Ali, in fact, you know.
Yep. Please feel free in these last few minutes to answer any questions, any burning questions.
Great. Brilliant. I think we've obviously covered a lot off, Janet and Ali. That's fantastic.
Can I take on this question asking about the QWE template?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the SRA provided a template. I think you're referring to the very long template, which includes the competencies required to get the QWE and how we can prove it. This template is not required to be submitted to the SRA, but rather you should use the new template, the PDF one, not the Word document, which was provided last week, late last week. So if you go to the most recent bulletin in the SRA website, the April bulletin, you would see under the section of QWE where you now can officially upload it and confirm it. You should create the account and then you will get the document that you need to submit. So just ignore the previous template provided by the SRA.
And thank you, Ali. That's very useful information. And just there's another question here. How long does it take to be fully prepared for both SQE 1 and 2? Well, as mentioned, the shortest amount of time that you could actually prep for the SQE in Barbary at the moment would be to start the 10-week course leading up to the exam in November. And then we will have a 12-week course leading up to the first SQE 2 exam which is in April 2022, sorry. So that would be the shortest period you can do it. There's obviously the 40-week option that Ali is on, but we also have the 20-week option due to start in July. And then, but of course, you don't have to necessarily immediately follow on to the next SQE exam, the SQE2, straight after you've done the SQE1. A number of people are looking to do a period of qualifying work experience in between, and then perhaps look at the SQE2 a little bit later on. So there's a lot of flexibility there over when you can actually sit the exams, and obviously the different course lengths dictate that. So I hope that's a useful kind of answer there. Yeah.
Thank you. So if anybody does have any other questions, maybe just remember a question you wanted to ask after this event ends, you can find us. You can email us actually at SQE at barbri.com, and then you can ask us any questions. I think I'll just pop it in the chat too quickly before we.
Yeah. And if anyone thinks this session would be useful to any friends or colleagues or contacts, then obviously, as Janet's put in the chat there are the webinar recording will be made available on our website, and there'll be an email going out to everyone who registered straight after this event. Yeah.
Okay, so I put the email in the chat in case you just want to ask any questions. I don't know if you're still here, Maha, regarding the courses. If you just let us know what course you're interested in, then I could also pop that in the chat. You still here?
Yep. I can't. Just... Yes, they are on the list still, Janet. Yep.
Sorry?
Maha is still on the list of attendees, so still here. Yeah.
Okay, I think I'll just send a.
Yeah.
I'll just send the general enrollment link.
Fantastic.
Just give me a second, please.
Yeah, and we can also put the link to the new PDF provided by the SRA. Ali, I don't know if, oh, fantastic. Oops. That's the enrollment link for the courses that Janet's just put up.
For the PDF, Caroline, you can provide the link, but I think the PDF won't be, like they can't access it unless they create an account.
Oh, okay. So let's maybe pop up the link to where they set up an account. Then that makes sense, and then people can access it from there. Yeah. Just a minute. So Maha is asking, yeah, about the 10-week courses. I need to have to do the test in November. Yep. So the 10-week course would lead you up to that perfectly.
I think someone put the link for the QWE.
Yeah, thank you for that. Thank you.
That's fantastic. Brilliant, Maha. Well, we will certainly get in touch with you about the 10-week. And if anyone else has any more personal questions, do just let us know on the SQE email, and we will be happy to help. Great.
Okay. Did I miss anything? Any questions?
I think we've covered them all. I can't see any.
No problem. Okay, thank you. Right, thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you for your questions, and I hope you all have a good day.
Brilliant.
All right.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.